Good morning, I'm Tamar Mehr and this is The Day Ahead. And on the agenda for today, coming up on the economic calendar, Germany and France CPI, as well as US advanced GDP at 1:30. Currency in play, we're going to take a look at the British pound. It has been outperforming the rest of its counterpart so far this year. Commodities, we're going to take a look at crude oil after staging a very nice surge higher, biggest in about a month. Global index market, we're going to take a look at the US index market. We're still stuck there underneath that 2800 on the S&P. Little has changed despite plenty of news coming in. And in equities, we're going to take a look at Tesla. We've got some mysterious news promised by Elon Musk coming out on Thursday ahead of Friday bond payment deadline. And let's start with the US dollar index. And this is the daily chart, and as we can see, we are in a downtrend. We have a bit of a pop here above the 96 level. It's a nice level, it's a strong level, and it is a round number. And we can see for 2 days now, we rejected the area of the 95.8. We could potentially see a bit of a push higher, testing the 96.2, previous touches over here, previous swing high, and also if we'll take the Fibonacci retracement on this chart, we can see that this area, this 96.2, it's also the 50% retracement of this latest move. So we could see a bit of a strength in the US dollar, and that could coincide quite nicely with a bit of a pullback here on cable. So let's take a look. We had a very strong push here on this market. We're quite overextended here, meaning there is a distance between where price action sits right now and the moving averages. If we'll take a look at the weekly has now turned into an uptrend as well. We've just broke the previous swing high and we are back in an uptrend, but there's a lot of touches here. There's a lot of support and resistance. There's an area of consolidations around here, and we could see a bit of a pullback. And a pullback into the 1.32 would be quite nice, a bit of a release of this strong buying pressure and perhaps a potential opportunity on the lower time frame. So I'll be looking at the 4 hours or the 8 hours even. I'll be looking for a pullback into the area between the 10 and the 20 moving averages, the buy zone, a bullish candle in that area, and a continuation of that move. Another market that I love the look of is euro versus the pound, and we finally broke out of that big consolidation area. And on the 4 hours here, we can see we started a beautiful downtrend, clear series of lower highs and lower lows, moving averages fanning and in the correct order. And I'd like to really jump on to the weekly, because this is where the nice break of a very strong level we can see that from. So this is the level, this is the area that we've broken in around the 87. We can see a couple of times we tried to break through it, rejected, break through it, rejected, even here break through it, rejected. We finally broke down below it, and currently it looks like we're going to close below that area as well. So in this case, I'll be looking for a pullback to test this breakout level from underneath, a nice bearish candle rejecting the breakout level, and a continuation of this move. Moving into commodities, and in crude oil, we almost but recovered the sell-off after President Trump relax and take it easy tweet. But we can see this level where we fell off from around the 57.5. It's quite a strong level on this market. It's been tested plenty of time in the past. We're coming back into it, fell off. There's another test here, but again, reacting to that level. There's a bit of divergence coming in here on the momentum indicators as well. Looking down the time frames into the 4 hours, we can see a bit better the price action around this level. Now, if the market is going to go ahead and break above this level in and around the 57.5, 58, I'll be a bit more bullish this market. I want to see a close above this level. Then I'll be looking for pullback into this level and a continuation of the move higher. However, currently I'm a bit more bearish around this area. We had a strong move and we can see we keep on finding resistance. I'm looking for a little bit more of a pullback back into the area of the moving averages around the 57.5, and then potentially see the market turning around here and giving another go and another test at that 57.5. Let's take a look at gold, and as we can see here from the daily chart, gold is starting to lose momentum. We had quite a strong run here, and we did have a couple of weeks of bullish momentum, so I would expect a bit of release of this buying pressure. Now if we'll take a look straight onto the monthly, we can see how important this level is around the 1360 1350 area, and this is where it's starting to come off. This has been a level for the past 6 years. Every time the market has come up into it, rejected and fell over, so I wouldn't expect the market to break through this level at the first go after having such a strong move coming up from the 1180 area. Taking a look here at the weekly, and we can see that the weekly is still in an uptrend, and we do have a bit of a distance, so a bit of overextension here from where price action sits right now and the moving averages. So a little bit of a pullback, perhaps into the 13 area, round number, lots of touches at that level, and potentially another push and another test of this level. I do expect the market to spend a bit of time around this area as it tries to break through that level. Alternatively, we can see this level being rejected quite strongly and then maybe a push lower, but currently the momentum indicators on the higher time frame are still pushing higher and are still looking strong. On the daily, we're starting to lose a bit of momentum, but that looks quite nice and coincides quite nicely with an overextension on the weekly and a bit of a deeper pullback there, and working out that divergence on the daily chart. Moving into index market, and I want to start with the S&P, and the story for me here is about the level, and that is the 2800, and it's a strong level and it's an important level on this market, and we can see how many times we have pushed through this level and rejected, came up, rejected, came up, rejected. We're sitting around that level, and if we'll take a look here on the daily chart, we can see that we're not moving much. We try to break above it and reject it, try to break above it and reject it, and we can also see that we have small candles around this area. So it might look like the market is actually losing a bit of momentum here. We can see the momentum indicator starting to flat, as well as the less and less activity around this area. Back into the weekly chart, we can see that we're also again had a very strong move. We could see a bit of a pullback in and around even the 2700. It might look like a big sell-off there on the daily, but it really is a little bit of a pullback right here in the context of the weekly chart. Moving into the monthly to see if it can give us a little bit more into, is it likely to break? Is it not likely to break? What we've got here is divergence between these two highs, but it could be that that divergence has played out as the market pulled back into the 50 moving averages. We had a bullish candle here and a break above it, but you can see again how strong that level has been in the past. So I'm exercising cautious around this level. If we break and close above that level, I'll be bullish and I'll be looking for a test of the highs and potentially even an all-time highs, looking forward to a move toward the 29. However, if we consolidate and then starts to break below this area and show on the lower time frame signs of bearishness, then I'll be looking for some short position. But currently the 4 hours is a bit of a sideways. I need to see some more sellers coming back into this market. On the DAX, however, I really like the look of these 4 hours. We've got here an equal high, and we've got strong divergence coming in. We do have a neck here around the 11,450 and a strong resistance up ahead around the 11,550. It has been tested a couple of times in the past as well. Currently, we look to be putting a lower high. I'd like to see some consolidation above that neck, and then I'll be looking to take a break lower, providing that the momentum indicators stay bearish and confirm a downward move. Moving into equities, and I'm taking a look at the chart of Tesla because Elon Musk yesterday has promised us some news on Tesla today ahead of tomorrow 920 million bond payment deadline. Now, if the share price somehow managed to close above that 360 area, then the payment can be in shares and not in cash. But as we can see, there's strong levels ahead of that price target, and I'll be looking for potential trading opportunities in reaction to those levels. Happy trading everyone, and I'll speak to you soon.